What's up, guys? Ryjack back. We are here with another live stream talking Man City, of course. We are finally just getting through the international break. And as always, the international break sucks. No one likes the international break, whether it's in, right after the start of the Premier League season or if it's in March. It sucks, breaks up all the flow of the games and everything. And I just personally dislike it. Not English, not European, American, so I don't really get to see a lot of the UEFA Nations League stuff that goes on, but it seems like nobody really cares. Over here for me, we have the CONCACAF Nations League, same sort of deal, but it's CONCACAF instead of UEFA, USA, Mexico, Canada, whatever, Panama. And again, two games, very boring. The United States lose both, actually, which is shocking and terrible. Shows all you need to know. Didn't seem like players cared. I don't know if it's the same over there, but it was just pretty much irrelevant, poor quality, not anything good. And unfortunately, unless it's the World Cup or the Euros or something like that, the Sudamericana or even I don't even remember what they call it down in South America. We have a Gold Cup here, but that sucks as well. So it's kind of strange, but anyway, International Week is over. Hopefully, we don't have to see one of those again. I don't know when the next one is, but I'm going to guess probably not till summer, I would imagine. Anyway, there are many Man City rumors flying around on the table, on the Twitter and online, and I want to look at them, see if they are realistic, see what you guys think as well in the comments. So anybody new, I appreciate new subs always. Comments, I respond to all the comments, and any likes and whatever, I'll appreciate it. We're almost at our goal of 100 subs. I think we're 90 plus, so very close, very close. Anyway, let's get into my saved tweets from throughout the day. First one comes through Fijaj. I don't know. Seems like not a great source. But apparently, Man City are willing and ready to pay 110 million euros for Xavi Simons this summer. They see the Dutchman as the ideal long-term replacement for KDB. Alf, what's going on, man? International break finally done. Yes, very excited about that. I can't stand the international break. It sucks. It's the worst. But source says that Xavi Simons is the target for replacing Kevin De Bruyne. Now, he is one of the names that I have seen thrown around pretty consistently from fans, more so than I've seen from actual sources online. This is one of the first ones. I don't see the 110 million. Yeah, Alf says 110 million for Simons. It's insane. Like, he was just purchased from PSG, put on a 2-year contract, so I'm guessing they do want to sell. They purchased at a lower purchase option, selling this summer for some profit for Leipzig. And, good on Leipzig. Way to go. Way to do some nice business. But 110 million euros seems like that's not going to happen. If we're going to spend that, I don't know why I wouldn't spend 110, 120, 30 on Wirtz. Just doesn't seem likely to me. I haven't seen a ton of Xavi Simons myself personally, playing for PSG and then Leipzig. So I don't know. Maybe he's good. Maybe he's not, but at that price, I'm going to say we probably are passing on that, and we go out for Wirtz. Now, if we can't get Wirtz and Leipzig come down on their price, and it's, 70, 75, maybe that's something they're more interested in. I know he's young and touted as an up-and-comer, so I'm not necessarily against this Simmons deal, or Simons, however you say it. But I don't know. Seems out there. Again, the source here, Fichajes. I don't know how to say that one, but not seemingly the most solid of source. Alf says the Wirtz rumors are 110 to 130, not including the McAtee swap. We could probably get Wirtz for 110 with the McAtee, for 100 with the McAtee swap deal. And I agree with that, especially because I already see McAtee is leaving anyway. So if we can send him out the door, you know what I mean? It seems like a no-brainer for me. And if we're going to do 100 and we're going to be a Galactico type summer, it needs to be Wirtz. He does kind of look like company. You're not wrong. Look like company there. Anyway, moving on from that. The other big news from today, Florian Plettenberg. Again, not a terrible source, not a great source necessarily, but I've seen a couple of areas where Tyler Dibling has been linked to City, well as Leipzig are looking for him, Tottenham Spurs looking for him as well. Again, he's not going to have great stats. I'll pull up his FB Ref profile here. They're not great, but that's mainly because he plays for Southampton. They don't score a lot of goals, so it's harder for him to get a lot higher in the percentiles here. He does have high pass completion percentage, 73rd percentile. Take-ons, he's up there. Looks like he gives effort defensively with tackles, blocks, and whatnot. Similar players, we've got Omar Hutchinson. Again, good player for Ipswich. Yildiz I have seen a few times for Juventus. Pretty good. Buonanotte is impressive. Another young up-and-comer, but not any names that are going to, pop off the page necessarily for Dibling. If you do compare to midfielders, he does go way up because he is a little bit more of an attacking midfielder. As far as names, John McGinn, Sucic I know is pretty good for Sociedad, and other than that, Kubo I am somewhat familiar with, but again, not any familiar names. Alf says Plettenberg is good for Bundesliga stuff. Outside of that, he's iffy. I have seen that. Yeah, he does have some good Bundesliga sources, and maybe, Leipzig have told him that they're looking at Dibling, and he's in the Premier League, hot up-and-coming prospect, so we can assume City and Spurs are interested. Or maybe he does have some good, reliable sources there for Tyler Dibling. He is young, 19 years old, English international, or maybe will be an English international. I don't know if he's actually made his full debut yet for England, but would be good for the quota that we have to have, which, again, is another thing we need to keep in mind, of course, going forward. If we're selling a lot of players, like Grealish is one name that's mentioned a lot, Stones is one that's mentioned a lot, 2 English players. You never know. You never know. I know Rico Lewis is mentioned a lot. I don't personally see him leaving, but I do know people are unhappy with him. So we're going to have to look for English players somewhere. Kyle Walker, another one that could be out the door. I would probably say I'd be interested at the right price. He does look pretty good. I just don't know the exact position he's going to be playing. Is he more of a midfielder? Is he more of a winger? I am uncertain. Alf says, do we really need another up-and-coming midfielder? If we get 4 or 5 ready-made players, we could be fixed up for until next summer. That's true. I mean, I don't think that if a player's going down and we get him on the cheap, let's say 30, 40, I don't think it's a negative, because he's probably going to go to someone like Spurs, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. He seems like people rate him highly, and I hate missing out on those type. But I do agree, we're kind of in a weird summer where there's going to be so much activity. Maybe spending 30, 40, 50 million of the money of the big pot we have is not a good allocation of resources, especially if we're going, 110 or whatever for Florian Wirtz at some point. Maybe the money does not make sense to put it on Tyler Dibling. Ojo says, how you doing, bro? I'm good. I'm very excited that the international break is over. I don't have to watch national teams anymore. I missed club football. I'm sure you guys did as well. Yeah, bro, it sucks. The international break is horrible every time, no matter if it's beginning of the season or in March. It is unfortunate, and it just breaks everything up. I wish they did not have them at all, and they only played in the summer. And I know that'll never happen, but that's my rant on the international break. Elsewhere, besides Tyler Dibling, and I do feel like this is a maybe. Plettenberg could be right, could be wrong. I definitely think City are probably monitoring the situation at the least. Again, another City Extra put it out as well. Another news from the Mirror. Again, maybe not the most reliable source, but AC Milan want to sign Jack Grealish this summer and are prepared to pay $40 million for the winger. However, they want a loan. Of course, all these Italian clubs always seem to want loans for whatever reason. I guess they don't have any money. So it makes sense that they always want the loans. And there was a lot of news that Rafael Leao may be leaving, so they would be in need of a winger. Is it Grealish? Is it someone else like Madueke? I saw him linked today as well. Remains to be seen. I'm doing Egypt, Sierra Leone, though. Marmoush versus Jumapa. Hopefully they're better than the European International Football. That would be cool to watch Sierra Leone, Egypt. I doubt that I'll have access to that here in the United States, but that would be cool to watch for sure. To see Omar Marmoush cook and Juma Ba, who looks fantastic, Yeah, I don't know if we do get this 40 million for Grealish. He is 29, going on 30. He's an English international, even if it's only some of the time. Alf says he would take 30 million for him, sell immediately. I could see a situation where a loan takes place, but again, City are looking to raise funds to buy the next decade of players, the next cycle. So a loan just kicks the can down the road into the next following season, and I don't know if Grealish is going to up his value in the sense. Like, we hoped loaning out Phillips would show that he can kind of have some ability to play and contribute, but the loans have not helped Phillips at all. Phillips has basically tanked in value completely, and now it's a loan until at some point his contract runs out, whether that's 27 or 28, I don't know, but I would hate to see the same road and approach there. I'd much rather sell on the permanent basis, or even loan with an obligation to buy. Maybe that's a route you go. I don't know, but again, selling to the Italian clubs, they always want these loan sort of deals. I remember a couple of years ago, Bernardo Silva was linked with Juventus, and they wanted to loan him for 2 years and then buy him. And it's like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, the Grealish links, I imagine, will be coming more and more thoroughly, more often going forward, because his City career is over. I think we all admit it, and it's unfortunate because I'm a big Grealish fan. I like watching him. Has he been good for us? No. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying we should be starting the guy every week, but I liked when we bought him, and I liked watching him play. So, I don't know. I'm not a Grealish fanboy, I guess, by any means, but it is sad when a player, comes in with such high expectations and it doesn't work out at all. Or even mid, I guess. I don't know. Elsewhere, other transfer news. More news about KDB and MLS side San Diego over free transfer. The days keep going, and there's no KDB contract extension rumors. There was maybe 3 weeks ago, reports that he would be open to a big salary cut to keep him around. I haven't seen much of that lately. I've seen only this San Diego thing, and I don't really know why he'd be going to San Diego over an NYC, a team that's in the City group. Me personally, if he's going to leave, I would love for him to go to Orlando. This would be an hour from me, so I could watch him play every other weekend or so. But again, San Diego is the team that continually is mentioned. I just don't see, personally, the Saudi move for KDB. He doesn't seem like the Saudi kind of player, I guess. But if he is open to taking less money, I think City would be happy to keep him as long as he understands, this is not the same sort of situation. You're not KDB of 3-4 years ago. And I imagine he is smart enough and wise in the head enough to know that that's probably what is coming for him. Wherever he goes, he's not, if he stays in Europe, I guess, he's not going to be at the tip-top level quite so anymore. I don't know if he's aware, but MLS is a bit brutal. There's almost 30 teams now. There's tons of travel. It's very different than the European League. Some of the people come over here and they do not enjoy it at all. I mean, you could play in San Diego one day, in New York the next day, and in Seattle, and that is so much time flying and traveling, and I imagine it would suck. So, anyway, there's my KDB rant. If I'm KDB, I'd probably want to stay personally, just to stay fit. Like Alf says here, he wants to stay fit until the World Cup. So maybe if he does take the pay cut, plays for us for one more year, stays fit, stays training, stays sharp, then is able to play in his last World Cup, which is in the U.S. He makes the summer move over to San Diego in 26, following the World Cup or leading up to the World Cup, maybe something like that. That would be something where USA sells Kevin De Bruyne is coming over here, the World Cup's coming over here. There could be something there. But again, uncertain on that. I don't know if it'll happen, if it won't. It seems very 50-50. I think anyone who says they know for sure what's happening, they're probably not correct there. Those are the main source of tweets that I have seen today. Yeah, Alf, lots of Europeans get their mind blown when they realize USA is approximately the same size as Europe, and the teams in different states are like teams in different countries. Yeah, exactly. We have compromised to a permanent end. KDB terrorists. Okay, Ojo, I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm happy for KDB to stay. But if he wants to move to MLS, then whenever he plays Orlando City in Orlando, I will be there. I will be there, no doubt. Let's see here. What else? I'm pulling up the upcoming fixtures so we can just look and see about City and what's happening going forward. This weekend, we do have our FA Cup tie against Bournemouth, which is really it's one of our biggest games of the season. We've got a quarterfinal, I believe, against one of the best teams left in the competition. We win. We're in the semis. We're going to Wembley. Maybe that's sort of a spark to get the team firing again. You know, we're so close to another trophy that we kind of pick up some sort of, I don't know, momentum going forward. That would be great, of course. But say we lose, it'll be a tough game. You never know. We could lose. We lose, and we have 9 games left of the season to get through it and get top 5. Again, that will be very difficult, of course. Guardiola's injured now. Who knows how long? We probably will find out at Pep's press conference coming up for this game, whether that's Friday, Thursday, I don't know. KDB played well for Belgium. Vanaken, my beloved, in midfield. I did see that KDB played extremely well. And, you know, people are saying, never doubt KDB. You can't doubt him. He's never out. And I agree. Like, he's got a performance in him every now and then. It's just not every week, unfortunately. And that's what City need. We need a consistent every week performers at the moment. FA Cup final prediction. Preston North End 1. Man City 0. That would break my heart. It would break my heart. It would be reminiscent of the Wigan final where we blew it. And I was not really a fan of soccer at the time. But I, of course, have read up on my history, and I know that was, I'm sure, horrible, horrible moment for all the City fans out there. Anyway, following Bournemouth, we do have a little bit lighter run of fixtures. It's been really tough over the last month or so, but it does ease up a bit. You've got Leicester, United, who are awful, Palace, Everton, Villa, Wolves. So, I mean, you should expect a few wins in there, I would think. But, you know, I mean, again, you never know. This is one of the worst seasons I've ever experienced as a City fan, which I know people, that dates me to being not that old of a City fan, but it is only about 10 years that I've been following the sport. So we are in 5th place. Everyone should be on 29 except for Newcastle here and Palace, I believe. So assume Newcastle win. We're actually out of the Champions League places. I do think 5th will qualify for Champions League, which is huge, and I would personally prefer Champions League over the FA Cup, which is something that there's a lot of debate on. Do you care more about winning a trophy or getting in the competition for next season? And it's not that I care about being in the competition per se. It's that I care about what that brings for the squad, and that brings the ability to sign higher level players, to have more money to spend on players, which in the long run is better for the team than just winning a trophy in a single moment. While the one moment is a lot better, winning the FA Cup would be great, and I'd be celebrating and going crazy, of course. That moment is only a moment, whereas getting that influx of cash from Champions League would extend, in my mind, for a long period of time. So for me, I choose qualifying for the Champions League, even though top 5 is not a trophy. It's better than winning the FA Cup for me. Alf says Matias Nunes left back for the rest of the season. I actually think we might see Nico O'Reilly left back, possibly. I don't know if that is factual information or if I'm just wishful thinking, but you could see a rotation of Nunez and Lewis at right back, and then a rotation of Nico O'Reilly, Lewis, Nunez at left back, potentially. I'm not sure who else would play left back. I guess if you want to stretch it, Pep could play Bernardo at left back. He has done it in the past. Not a fan of that, but it has been done. So, yeah, I mean, we might see Grealish left back. That would suck. I'd be sad to see Grealish left back personally. Anyway, we're just on the 20-minute mark, and typically that's how long I go with these lives. So Ojo, Alf, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to put out some shorts over the next couple days, as well as some more long-form videos on YouTube as well. So if you guys are new, do sub to my YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. I do a lot of the short form there. I look on the shorts as well for YouTube. So check those out. And going forward, Alf, I'll definitely join you on your channel whenever you have an opening. I tried this weekend, but sorry, I was unfortunately unable to make it. Anyway, that is it for today's live. So thank you guys. I do appreciate it, and I'll be back probably tomorrow. Hopefully there's some more transfer news. Hopefully we get maybe some positive 115 news. Maybe that comes as well. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys. See ya.